Hey guys, this is Mike from B-Tech Reviews here, and today we're going to take a look at the BLU VIVO GO. Hey guys, this is Mike from B-Tech Reviews here, and today we're going to take a look at the BLU VIVO GO. And again, this is by BLU, which is a company that sells a lot of unlocked devices, and they're actually really inexpensive products. So again, this phone retails for $79.99, and I'm actually going to post the link down below in the description, an affiliate link, so that you guys can maybe check that out. But again, let's go over the specs really quick, guys. So this phone out of the box comes with a 6-inch HD 18.9 glass display. Okay, so it's a very nice looking display. Right now I have the brightness kind of catered a little down so that my camera doesn't go crazy here in the background. It has 1 gig of RAM. It has a 1.5 gigahertz MediaTek quad-core CPU, which again, for a quad-core processor, it's not very good. I'm going to tell you that much right now. It has a 2600 milliamp battery. Which, take it with a grain of salt. It really depends on what your usage is, and it has a dual camera in the back. So in the front here, you actually have a 5 megapixel camera with a flash. So I think that's interesting that they kind of implemented a flash in the front here, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess it's not like people or other smartphone companies haven't done it in the past, but why put a front-facing flash if the camera's not good at all? So same thing with the back. So in the back, you have an 8 megapixel VGA camera. Can I get that going here? Let's see. Can I get you to focus? There you go. So it has an 8 megapixel plus VGA rear with flash. And again, I'll go over the camera later on in this video. But I'm gonna be quite honest with you. The camera is not very good. Okay, and I'll show you guys some clips a little later on. So again, out of the box, you have a 2600 milliamp battery also, which the battery life isn't horrible, but I think the standby time on it is not great either. I think it could have been a little better. Okay, so probably the best feature on this phone is going to be its actual fingerprint sensor, and it, apparently, according to their website or whatever, it takes 0.10 seconds to turn on or whatever. So 0.01 seconds to turn on. Again, that's me not having to turn on the power button. So right here, just going to the back and putting my finger back here. Let's see if it goes. So it turns on, no issues. Okay, so, and again, out of the box, this thing does run Android 9.0 Pie, but it's a Go edition. So for those of you who don't know what Go edition phones are, they are basically like watered down versions of Android phones. And when I mean watered down versions, I mean that it does not have simple things like a widget. So I can't even add a clock widget. Okay, so normally back in older versions of Android or other versions of Android, you can actually just tap the screen and look for widgets here. Okay, so home settings, and maybe I was just missing it. So look, add icons to home screen, change icon shape. So that's really all I can do. If I were to click this, again, it just gives me shortcuts and wallpaper, so I can't really do much. Okay, so if you're looking to add widgets and whatnot, this is not the phone for you. Basically, out of the box, you're gonna get just some basic apps. I have downloaded a few apps like Angry Birds just to try out gaming, calculator, calendar, Google Chrome, contacts, files, again, FM radio, Gmail Go, Google Go, which are, again, they're like watered down versions of the apps. And again, take a grain of salt with, I guess, according to people that I've talked to about Android Go, basically, this phone, any app that you download is going to be some sort of a watered down version of it. So it's kind of disappointing that I can't get full features, of an app, with this specific phone. That means YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I only downloaded a few of them, so you guys can see them here. I only have like Facebook, Instagram, and whatnot. But going back to phone use and whatnot, I'm going to tell you guys this much. This phone is really not a phone that you guys want if you guys want something that's very fluid. Okay, so this phone is basically catered to people that are basically new to the Android game, which I understand that. But if this is going to be my first Android user experience, and I were to purchase this phone, I would not like it, to be honest. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so the reason being is because, again, this phone lags heavily. Okay, so when I'm talking about lag, okay, again, this goes back to the 1 gigabyte of RAM. Look at how long it's taking to just open up Twitter. Okay, that was probably a good like 5 seconds there, and we can just kind of scroll through my feed, and you can kind of see here how stuttery and how laggy it is. So it's just really not a very good experience. Let's click this. Let's see if it opens up a browser or a picture. Hold on. I wanted to click a picture. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Let me see if I can find something with a picture. Okay, so let's click this. Hopefully that doesn't take me to an ad. So again, pinch to zoom works okay. Again, it's not really like, again, to the point where like, hey, but again, one thing that, you know, I can tell you this phone got right, opposed to its performance, is the actual screen. Okay, so the screen looks amazing, by the way. It's a 6-inch HD curved display. I don't really know the specs too much on the screen, again, but if you go to Geekbench, and if I can get Geekbench open here, let's see, it'll tell you the pixel density. So I actually ran a Geekbench on this phone, and I'm going to tell you that this phone benchmarks super low. Okay, so if you look at it, it says the phone's screen is 720 by 1440. And again, the GPU is a PowerVR Rogue GE8100, and the display PPI is 160. So for a phone, if this is a 160 PPI display, really it doesn't look bad. I mean, again, I do not have let's see, I don't have the brightness set up all the way high, so I actually have the brightness set pretty low, and I'm seeing it pretty good. If I were to put this up, you're gonna get like a super max brightness, and it's gonna turn the actual phone like dark or whatever. But anyway, and that's my camera, guys. I'm sorry about that. I really can't show you the full effects of the full brightness, but really it looks good. I mean, it looks like I'm looking like at an AMOLED display, and then, you know, we can compare it to something like my iPhone 10 over here really quick, just so I can show you guys. And again, this is an OLED display, obviously, which you can tell it's a lot brighter. Again, the brightness on this phone is probably a lot higher also, but compared to this one, you know, obviously the iPhone's gonna win, but at the end of the day, you know, you're spending $79, and the brightness to me does not look that bad, okay, especially on this device. It's not as hard or strenuous on the eyes. So I think that's one thing this phone got right, okay. Again, you know, gaming on this phone is pretty horrible, and I was only able to download 2 games on this phone, which was Sonic Dash and Angry Birds, and those were basically the only 2 games that work, and I'm going to show you how Sonic Dash works. Alright, so we are waiting for the game to load up here. So again, this is supposed to be a light version of Sonic Dash, and it even says when you open up the app, it says Sonic Dash Hard Light Edition or something like that. So as you can see there, like the clouds in the background are just moving utterly slow, so you know that 1 gig of RAM is just ruining this phone for any type of gameplay, okay? And oh my gosh, I already clicked play, so basically I've downloaded a few other games also on this phone, like Street Fighter 4, etc., which has a way heavier graphic interface than Sonic Dash, and I'll tell you this much, again, I can't even exit this game. Look at that. So I mean, if I were to try exiting out, look at that. It's freezing up my phone. It's freezing up the phone, guys. So you're not going to be able to play any games on this, really. If you're looking to play Fortnite on this, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, guys. Probably the only game that you are going to be able to play is Angry Birds on it. And again, I downloaded Angry Birds Rio just because it's the lightest version of Angry Birds as far as the actual you know, download version of it. It's not a heavy game when it comes to download size. So again, this is only about 50 megabits. Let's fast forward through that. So again, and let me turn up the volume so you guys can hear. And again, there's a few things that I think this phone got right, and then there's a few things that I think this phone fails at. So first of all, this phone fails at definitely. Yeah. So again, you can play games like this with no issue. Again, games that are not really heavily graphic user-wise, it's going to work probably okay. And I'm talking about puzzle games, maybe games like Words with Friends or Candy Crush, maybe, or like games that are not going to, again, take up that much. Okay, I don't know what this means. Open up the prize. Okay, reveal. I don't know what that is. Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's go. I'll just play one more stage for you guys, just so you guys can kind of see, you know, how good this is. Let's find out. Okay, I did that on purpose, and my cat is just showing up in the background for no reason. Okay, that was weird. But again, let's just again. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here now because you know you guys kind of get the point of the gameplay, right? And gameplay wise, this again, you're not gonna get a lot of graphical games here, so just don't even try. again, like look at that. I'm trying to scroll to the home screen or whatever, and it's just not letting me, you know. And oh, okay, let's see. Let's open up Google and let's ask it how the weather is today. Hey Google, how's the weather today? Let's higher the volume a little bit. Hey Google, how's the weather today? Okay, so now it's searching. Again, that took some time for it to search, checking the weather, so you can see how kind of slow this goes. And here it just gets me, it doesn't really tell me, oh, here's the weather in your area like some other apps would be, but again, like if you were to ask Siri or something like that, but again, here it just takes me to weather forecast, so it doesn't really tell me how the weather is today. So that's not very good. Again, maybe that goes back to how Google, the Google searches. Maybe I need to be using Google Assistant. I don't know. Okay, but you know, I can definitely be a little more specific. But anyway, so you know, right here, I mean, there's one flaw on this phone that I can tell you guys about this. It is actually the user experience. And the user experience is just horrible. Excuse me while I'm adjusting the camera here. User experience is just really horrible on this phone. Okay, there's a lot of things that I know I can tell you this phone did get right though. So out of the box, you know, this phone did get right was the actual screen itself and the build quality. So build quality, you know, if you're holding onto this phone and you're just touching it, you know, like, you know, all around it feels like a very solid phone. You know, it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like you're, you know, if you drop it, it's going to break very easily. On the back, it's just kind of like a hard touch plastic, and it's a removable back, obviously, but it's just all around a nice looking phone. Like if I were to have this phone and, you know, someone was asking me about it, you know, I would be like, oh yeah, this is my new phone, the BLU VIVO, but I would not be proud to tell them like how bad the usage is on this phone. So I guess the last thing I'm going to talk about, guys, is the battery on this phone, or not the battery, but the cameras on this phone, guys. So I have a lot of negative things to say about the cameras. If I can get that to zoom in there or focus there. So camera, again, it's an 8 megapixel camera, and here's a 8 megapixel VGA, and then the front is the 5 megapixel camera with a flash. And again, camera app experience is just horrible. Okay, guys, again, if I were to actually hit this over here, bring this up and try to take a picture of something, let me see, I can try to take a picture of, you know, this microphone over here, right? So it lags really bad, first of all, and look at that, I'm trying to bring that up. I have HDR turned on, and it doesn't really look too great, to the point where like, hey, but just the fact that the actual camera user experience or user interface is just ugly in itself, it's just bad. So again, you have just two things. You have picture and video here. Video again takes 1080p at 30 frames a second. Picture, again, you don't really have any, you're not really able to adjust any of the settings. It does have HDR, and it does have a front-facing camera mode, which I will show you guys right now if I can get that going. Hey guys, there's me, Mike from B-Tech Review Shooting. And again, you know, it's just not very good. It does have this feature that allows you to change it from normal to bokeh. So if you guys don't know what bokeh is, it's basically just a fancy term for background blur, okay? And if you hit this button, and okay, I got my dogs barking in the background. That's okay, and my cat's freaking out now. Okay. Hey guys, so I kind of screwed up when I was editing the video for the Vivo Go. So I accidentally reset this phone before I could save any of the footage from the actual videos and pictures that I took. So I do apologize on that. But again, to just take it with a grain of salt, this phone is not worth it when it comes to camera quality. So do not get this phone, okay? Especially when it comes to pictures or video, okay? Not worth it. Alright guys, and we are back. So again, that was the camera on the BLU VIVO GO. Again, a little bit of a disappointment in my opinion, but again, you know, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. This is a $79 smartphone, and you know, you get what you pay for sometimes. In this case, For me, I'm actually going to return this specific smartphone just because I didn't really, normally sometimes I'll keep smartphones if I think they're good enough, but this one, for instance, was just not a good user experience, and I do plan to take it back. You know, as much as I like the way this phone looks and how it feels in the hand and whatnot, I'm sorry, Blue, but you know, Blue, you kind of disappointed, man. It's not a very good phone. You know, probably the best feature, again, like that I've been saying all on this video, is that it has very good physical features of this phone. Okay, it looks good, you know. I mean, if you look at that, it looks like a good knockoff of the iPhone 10 or 10s or whatever you want to call it. And again, you know, not to say that there's not good features about Android 9.0 Go, but just the fact that the hardware, for me, kind of ruins it for this phone, if you know what I mean. So again, guys, you know, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumb up. If you don't like it, well, please, you know, like it anyway, just because. Please subscribe to my channel if you guys haven't already, as I'm going to post more review videos this year. And again, if you guys like it, please share on your social media channels. As always, thank you all for watching. We will see you guys next time. Okay.